Okay, it's not the first movie about the Suicide Forest. There was a Gus Van Sant that was shown in Cannes recently. I love this idea, but yours is better. I love this idea of kind of a romantic, poetic, philosophical forest, and that it is the Okigahara forest. Are you sensitive to that? Do you see the poetic aspect of a Suicide Forest?
I was so intrigued by the concept. I think the script has a great premise that you go into the forest and the forest holds a mirror up to you. So it's your inner demons. As one character says, you do it to yourself. It's your inner demons that manifest themselves in front of you. And Sarah has a lot of demons, the main twin that you spend most of the time with. She has a deep denial and repression that the forest draws out of her and forces her to confront.
And the movie plays with that. I mean, at a point we're asking ourselves, does she really have a sister? And is it like,
yeah.
The film plays a lot with that. Can you talk about the psychological aspect of the script and the
film? Yeah, the film plays a lot with the idea of perception. What's real and what's unreal? Is it in her head? Is it not in her head? The character played by Taylor Kinney, Aiden, is he trustworthy? Is he dangerous? And hopefully the audience to and fro in their confidence of whether they trust their own perception, the way Sarah is doubting herself. It's a bit of the unreliable narrator. Is she going crazy, or is she just being completely victimized?
How does that subtlety in the script about this question help you to build a character or characters, if you want?
It's a joy to work on a horror movie like this that's so intelligent. It's a psychological horror movie. It has these wonderful suspense thriller elements that really make it, what's truly scary about what's in here, which I think the best horror movies do, as opposed to a slasher, gratuitous just for the sake of it. I would like to think that this movie will appeal to true horror fans, but also appeal to audience who would normally not think that they would enjoy a horror, that it would they would find it an interesting, cathartic journey for them as well.
I heard you earlier talking about Spanish horror, but Japanese horror is like that. I mean, there's scary, there's creepy stuff and everything, but it's built on characters. Do you feel that this movie is close to that?
Yes, I think there is a deep respect. The filmmakers of The Forest we all had a deep respect for the Japanese heritage, and a sort of a nod of respect to what inspired this story. And it's such a fascinating culture, and the heritage and the superstition that surrounds the forest is truly fascinating. I went there myself, and I just felt a philosophical experience more than anything, to be honest. Mount Fuji is a truly beautiful place.
Is it sad to be here? Scary maybe, but sad?
It's very sad to think of that still now people go to the Okigahara forest with the intention of not coming out. And for me, I wanted to explore. I'm a sister. I have a brother and a sister who I love dearly, and I would travel halfway across the world if I thought that one of them was in pain or in trouble. And I think most of the audience will be able to identify that, go from that place of, yes, you would ignore all the warnings, you would step off the path, you would stay in the forest after dark if you thought that you were saving a loved one who was in trouble.
Talking about brothers and sisters, the twin aspect of the movie, I spoke with Tom Hardy on Legend, and he said, it wasn't this difficult because one day I was Rage and the other day I was Ron. But you, it's not the same. You have to be both character because there's a lot of Jess in Sara and vice versa. How to get to that?
It was easier on the days when I had to be Sarah and then I changed to be Jess, because you have the 2-hour hair and makeup process to reassimilate and recalibrate yourself as the other character. But you mentioned Tom Hardy, who I have so much respect for in Legend, because what is truly difficult, and I only had really one scene of it, is acting within a scene with yourself. When it's a heavy dialogue scene and the two women are talking to each other. Because then that's kind of, as an actor, that's the kind of gymnastics you don't normally have to do, because acting is reacting. You just watch the other person and react to what they're doing. But obviously, if you are the other person, you're not there. So you can't do that. It was definitely surreal. It challenged my working brain, but it's a tick box. I've done a scene with myself.
I admire your choice with this movie because you're in the biggest show that has ever been on TV, and Game of Thrones. You were in the biggest blockbuster of the last 5 years, and you choose this small horror movie independent that goes all the way. That's very deep in the genre. That is kind of psychological also. Was it the point? Did you want to do something that was so bold?
I am always looking for a role that is going to really challenge me. Maybe it's going to be physically challenging or mentally challenging or transformation challenging. I try and challenge my own perceptions of myself and what I think I can do, and hopefully make an audience see different colors. So that's why I chose The Forest. It seems so removed from the other stuff that I'd done. I wanted to give it a go.
And it's kind of his first movie. It's kind of his first big movie for the director. How to get you probably really used to big shoot and to big set, Game of Thrones again. How is it with a director so young and so into his movie?
It was such a collaborative experience, this movie. It was a really tight, small crew and very talented people at all job levels on set. I loved my DP. I think Matthias Cholostrop is fantastic. Jason really brought a knowledge of the genre as the director to the floor, and the producers were incredibly supportive on this project as well, on The Forest. So I really felt, as one of my first feature lead, I really did feel like one of the heads of a team. It was a real team. When you're standing in a forest at 3 a.m. and it's freezing cold and you're all tired from night shoots and being bitten to death by mosquitoes, you really feel a sense of camaraderie. It was a real team effort, this movie.
You seem to be so passionate about it. Was it this good experience?
It really was. It was a very positive, challenging, but positive experience in my life.
I'm a horror fan, and I'm very happy to see when there is new demon or ghost or what. Mm-hmm. There's a Yurei here. And when you see a Yurei, you're in a lot of trouble, are you?
Oh, absolutely.
And how can you tell me what is a Yurei and how it works?
A Yurei is a Japanese spirit. The quickest way to explain it is it's a bit like a ghost, but it's more than that. It's more complex. And they haunt the forest in a way as to enter the psychology of those people that are weak or flawed or leaving unfinished trauma or demons, so that they turn inwardly within themselves.
One very last thing, Natalie, are we going to see you in more horror movies?
Are we going to see me in more horror movies or just in more movies?
More movies, we know that, but more horror?
When it comes to the genre, I will go where the good scripts are. So if there is a great horror movie script, then I will do it.
You wrote a thriller, did you? You did write a thriller, did you?
I've just written a thriller, yes, In Darkness. We are shooting at the beginning of 2016. And I suppose Patient Zero, which is coming out next year, also has a horror element to it. It's more an action, apocalyptic horror / supernatural, but it does have a horror element to it.
Okay, merci beaucoup. You good? Parfait.
Thank you.
Merci Natalie. Thank you so much. Yes.